All right. Entrepreneurship, week 2 of 16. Let's go. Let's get it started. All right. Well, this week I'm going to start this presentation out by doing a little bit of housekeeping. Then we're going to review the concepts we learned last week. We're going to I'm going to do a summary, kind of an overview of the whole course, and I'm going to show you uh, the process we're going to follow when we think about starting your business. So by the end of this course, hopefully you're going to have a business that you're going to be launching, and I'm going to overview that. And then I'm going to get into the project for this week, which is called 12 Forms of Value. This is going to be so awesome for you to know. It's going to open up so many doors and windows and opportunities for you once you know this. So I'm really excited for you to have this in your pocket. All right. So what's due this week? Well, we have a reading, another really exciting reading that I want you to experience. We have a journal entry. Again, we're stretching you to find problems in your life because those are the basis for starting a business. You got to find problems that you're going to solve, and then those solutions become the basis for businesses. And so I'm pushing you right now to do that. And then lastly, we have a project for this week, and it's not too hard. It's going to be a fun one, but I'm just telling you that these are the three things that are due this week, and I'll talk more about them throughout the video. Great. Well, let's get started. We're going to do a little bit of housekeeping here. Um, First, I want to start by welcoming a new batch of students that we have with us from Central High School, um, and maybe a different school too. I'm not sure. Long story short, if you're a new student, if this is your first week, welcome. We will catch you up to the material that you have missed last week, and so don't worry about that. But we're really excited to have you on board. This is a growing class in a growing program, and so you are in the right place. So welcome. Okay. Secondly, um, one of the most for all of us, one of the most important things that we can do as students is stay organized. We're going to have a lot of projects and assignments and all that stuff. And one of the things that I hate as a professional is having lost documents or searching for something and spending 5 minutes trying to find something. No, I want to know exactly where it is so that when I need it, I go exactly to it. And so here's what you're going to do. In Google Drive, I want you to create a folder called Entrepreneurship. In that folder, I want you to create folders for week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, all the way out. Now, you don't got to create all these folders. You can create them week by week. So create a folder for week 1, and then create a folder for week 2, and then next week, create a folder for week 3, and then the following week. By the end of the course, you're going to have 16 folders. And then in these folders, you're going to be saving all of your documents. So last week, you can save you know, your journal entries, the pictures of your journal entries into here. This week, you're going to save some of your project work into here, into your week 2. So go to Google Drive. Go to Google Drive. You can even pause the video right now. Go to Google Drive. Create a new folder called Entrepreneurship. Then inside of that folder, create 2 folders, week 1 and week 2. And then now we're going to start organizing all of our materials into these folders. So that's it for housekeeping. Okay, let's quickly review what we learned last week. So review last week. Okay, number 1, you started A entrepreneurial journal, entrepreneur's journal. Now that is so important. One of the things that I want to just highlight here is that this entrepreneur's journal is not just for me to give you assignments for you to be working in. In other words, don't think about this entrepreneur's journal as just something that the teacher gives you assignments and that's when you're going to do stuff in it. No, no, no. You want to be carrying that thing around with you all the time, looking for problems, sketching out solutions, drawing ideas in it. This is your platform for solving problems, identifying problems, and solving problems. Start it. I'm going to give you assignments, great, and do them in there. But I also want you to be just doing this on your own, because that's where the power comes in. And you can be doing this for the rest of your life. You can be carrying something around with you, finding problems and solving problems in this journal. And you guys are going to be um, a force in this world if you do that. So don't think about this entrepreneur's journal as something that the teacher gives you and you wait for the teacher to assign you stuff. No, no, no. You take it on as yours. This is your opportunity to own this. Now, last week I gave you the assignment of finding 3 problems in your life, and you guys nailed that. So I was so excited to see the kinds of problems that you presented and found, and those what powerful problems that we can now start solutioning for business ideas. Wow, that is so cool. You have problems in your life. We're going to turn those problems into business ideas, solutions for other people. Wow, that is exciting. So keep up the good work. Okay, we learned about the subscription model of business. Yep. And I know all of us were pretty excited about this subscription model of business when it was applied to that candy store, the Japan candy business, and that was pretty cool. Know that the subscription model itself has pros and cons. There's some good things about it and there's some bad things about it. So just because you know it exists, you may not want to use it for your business. But guess what? Because you know it, you can have it in your back pocket. And when you go to start your business, you can pull it out and say, hey, is this a good idea for my business? And then you can say, yep, or no, this isn't a good idea. But because you know it, you can at least consider it. Ooh, that's cool. And there's so many other things we're going to learn that you can do that for. Okay, and we learned the structure of this course. And so we got a little bit more to learn, but you learned how my assignments are kind of rolled out, how I grade, how things are structured, when our assignments are due, all that stuff. Um, and so these are 3 major things that we learned last week. So good job, everybody. Know that we want to be tight about getting our assignments in on time. So that's something that we're going to focus on this week is getting our assignments in on time. All right, great. Well, I'm going to move on to an overview of this entire course. Okay, so so check this out. Entrepreneurship is about starting and running businesses. Okay, so let's look at what this course is from a huge perspective, starting and running a business. So, step one, so I've kind of broke this down into 4 steps. Step one is think of a business idea or think of business ideas, right? Well, guess what? That is not always an easy thing to do. I mean, business ideas don't just fall from trees. If they did, everybody would run a business. And guess what? That's not always easy to do. So I'm going to show you some techniques to find good business ideas that you could possibly run with. Now, last week I had you find problems in your life, and we're going to kind of do that again this week with a twist. And then we're going to look at this process called Rip, Pivot, Jam. And that's kind of like develop ideas from other places. Like these are just different techniques to think of business ideas. And then once you find a business idea, we're going to spend a lot of time defining that business idea and then coming up with possible solutions for that business idea. So think of the problem, define the problem, and then come up with a solution for it. So that's kind of the process we're going to take in this phase. This is kind of like phase one, right? We're thinking of business ideas, we're finding problems in the world, we're coming up with solutions for them. Ooh. Okay, well, what's phase two? Test your your idea out in the real world. We're going to go test it out in the real world. We're actually going to do this, you guys. You're going to think of a business idea, we're going to think of a solution, and then you're going to literally go out in the real world and you're going to test it. Well, what does that look like? You're going to build what we call an MVP, or a prototype of your solution. A prototype is just, instead of building the full thing out, you're going to build out like a mock-up of whatever solution it is. And then you're going to go find potential customers, and then you're going to test it with them. You're going to get their feedback, and you're going to iterate your design. Iterating your design means you change it a little bit based on feedback. So you change it a little bit based on feedback, and then you present it to them again. They give you more feedback, and you change it a little bit, and then you present it again. And so you you keep improving your design based on your feedback. That's called iteration. So we're going to go test your idea out in the real world. We're actually going to do this. And then the third stage is pivot or proceed. So after you test your idea, change it a little bit, you got to decide. This is a hard decision. You got to decide, was my idea a good idea, good enough to actually launch a business? In other words, can I launch it and make a profit? Or is this not going to work? Is it not going to work? And so you got to decide. This stage is all about making a hard decision about, hey, is this going to work or not? If it's not going to work, then we need to either pivot and change a little bit, or stop and do something totally different. Or if it is going to work, guess what? We proceed and we move forward with it. So this is a big moment in the life of starting a business. And then the last part is building your business model. Ooh, building your business model. So let's say that you come up with an idea, you test it out in the real world, and you iterate it based on feedback, and you're getting really positive feedback from your potential customers, and you say, hey, I want to proceed. I think I can make a profit on this. So you proceed. Well, guess what? We got to build out your business. We got to decide your revenue model, your marketing strategy, your business plan. We actually got to stand up the business to make it like a full-fledged business. And so that's what this last stage is. And then we're going to run the business. You're going to run the business. So you guys, hey, I just want to kind of circle back here. This is going to be the entire class. Right now we're in phase one. Think of a business idea. But we're going to move over, once you get a business idea, over to the test the business idea out in the real world, then pivot or proceed, and then build the business model. And so by the end of this class, you should ideally have a business that you can launch here. Isn't that exciting? Very exciting. All right. So with that in mind, um, I want to introduce this week's project to you. Well, so we have a project that I want to introduce to you. But first, um, I want to tell you about what's due this week. So we're going to look at what's due this week. We have a reading that's due this week. We have a journal entry that's due this week, and we have a project that's due this week. So we have three things that are due this week. Now let's go out and look at kind of how I think you should structure that. Give me 1 second here. So, here's Monday. We have school. We don't have school on Monday. Here is um, here is our typical setup, right? So we have our reading due on Thursday. We have our journal entry due on Saturday, and then we have our project due on Saturday. I think this is all really doable. This is how I would probably approach it. Um, so I think this is really doable. Let's go look at the details of this. I'm gonna go out to our Schoology. Um, let's go out to Schoology. Entrepreneurs are prolific problem solvers. That's what you are. You are problem solvers. And so keep that in mind. Notice that I added a folder up here called Cool Entrepreneurship Stuff. Now, if we click in there, this folder is me just posting cool stuff that you can, in your free time, come check out. Leave some comments. Now, this is for us as a class community. So if you're out on YouTube and you find something cool about entrepreneurship and you want to share it with the class, email it to me and I'll post it up here. This is for us as a community to share. And so I just want to highlight that. Um, so come check this out on your free time, and you can see some stuff. Now notice that I got week 2 live, so you can click into week 2. Notice that we got a reading, a journal entry, and a project. Now notice under here that I've created these little countdown timers. These countdown timers tell you, they're just reminders of when everything is due. So the week 2 reading reflection is due in 3 days, 15 hours, and 34 minutes, Thursday, right? The journal entry is due 5 days, 15 hours, so Saturday. And the week 2 project is due in 5 days, 15 hours. So both of these are due on Saturday. This is due on Thursday. But I thought this would just be a clever way to keep you kind of in touch with when everything is due. All right. Well, here's the reading. It's a side hustle for a furniture delivery. You guys got to check this out. Super cool. So, same format. You're going to read and do a little reflection. The journal entry, same format, except for I changed it up a little bit. Go check it out. And then here's the project, 12 forms of value. Now, I'm going to go into this project right now. So, get your thinking hat on right now, because I'm going to go into this project into some detail, and I'm going to lay out how I want you to do it. So let's come back up here. Here is the 12 forms of value. This is such a cool thing. 12 forms of value. What am I talking about here? Okay, I'm calling this the 12 plus forms of value. Every entrepreneur needs to know these. And here they are right here. And I'm just gonna read them off. Product, service, shared resource, subscription, resale, lease, agency, audience aggregation, loan, option, insurance, capital, and hassle premium. Now, as I read down here, you probably know 3 or 4 of these already, or you've at least heard these out in the world. You probably know what a product is. You probably know what a service is. You know what a subscription is. Maybe you know what a lease is and a loan. Um, you probably know what insurance is. Um, so you know some of these already. What we want to do is we want to know what all of these are, because guess what? If you know all of these, when you go to start your business, you all of a sudden you have these as tools in your back pocket that you can pull out and say, "Hey, I can start this business as a resale business." Whoa. Or a lease business or an agency. And right now you have no idea what these 3 are, so you couldn't start these businesses because you don't know what these are. But after this project, you're going to know what these are, and so you're going to have these at your fingertip to maybe start these types of businesses. So, how are you going to do this? Well, this project. Well, I got a reading for you that you're going to do. It's not a whole chapter, it's like a part of a chapter. So you're going to do this kind of partial reading where you're going to learn what each of these are. Okay? So you're going to learn what each of these are. Then I've created a paper for you. And really, it's not a paper, it's just I've created a section for each of these forms of value. So you can see shared resource. And what I want you to do is I want you to define it in a sentence or two. And then I want you to go out in the real world and I want you to find a real world example of that. But I only want you to do it for 4. So I want you to pick 4 of these. After you read, I want you to read about every single one of them, but I only want you to pick 4 of these, and I want you to go out and find a real world example uh, for this. Okay, so that's the paper. Then I want you to pick one that you've detailed. You're going to pick one, and I want you to create a 1-slide pitch. And what is a 1-slide pitch? Well, a 1-slide pitch is I'm going to give you 1 minute to talk about and present your one product, service, whatever, as if you were pitching this as like the company owner, and you're pitching this to the rest of the class, trying to, I don't know, get investment or something like that. So you're going to create a 1-slide pitch. Now let's go look at what that looks like out in Schoology. Here's the project. So PJ stands for project, 12 forms of value. Okay, here's the reading. Remember, 12 forms of value. Remember, in the brackets, I tell you what this is and what you should do. So read. So you know you got to read what this piece right here. Okay. Then I got video instruction here. So if you ever forget what to do, here's 12 forms of value video instruction. Oh, here's your rubric, your 12 forms of value rubric and instructions. That is this right here. And we're going to cover this together, but I just want to keep going down the list. Here is the 12 forms of value paper. Notice how it says paper. Notice here that it says turn in. So you know that you got to turn this in. Notice here that it says 12 forms of value slide. This also says turn in. And then here's the Dropbox, 12 forms of value Dropbox. So if we come back to here, we know we got a paper that we need to turn in and this pitch presentation that we got to turn in. So let's go see what that looks like. Well, here is the grading rubric. Notice that it's worth 100 points. Remember for my rubrics that we always start in the must-haves column. We start in the must-haves column. And then I break it into 4 chunks: the reading, the research, the paper, the presentation. So let's look at the reading. Reading. Student read the 12 forms of value reading. That's obvious. You need to do that. So I'm going to put a check here once you've done that. Research. Student found at least one real-world example for at least 4 of the 12 forms of value. So again, you're not going out and finding all 12 of them. You're finding 4. Okay, in the paper, students summarized their findings in the Google Doc, which included a brief description of each real-world example and how it fits the form of value, minimum of 3 sentences per form. So let's go see what that paper looks like. So that paper is here. You're going to put your name here, and it says only complete the below research for 4. So here's 1, product; 2, service; 3, shared resource; 4, subscription; 5, resale; lease; agency; audience aggregation. Now you may choose to do a resale, lease, option, and hassle premium. Those might be the 4 that you choose to fill out here. So a definition and then a real world example. Or you may choose to do a product, a subscription, an agency, and a loan. Those might be your 4. It's up to you. You can mix and match. You have to do 4 of these, not all of them. You do 4 of them. So this is your paper that you're going to write. You're only going to do 4. You're going to do 4. All right. Once you've done 4 of these, you're going to pick one of them, and then you're going to do this slide right here. So here's 12 forms of value slide. This is what the slide looks like. It is literally one blank slide. And here's the deal, you guys. You're going to have 1 minute to pitch your product. So here's my advice to you. Do not use a bunch of text on your slide. If anything, use a bunch of pictures, and not even a bunch. Use um, whatever you do, make it big and graphical. So you got 1 minute to pitch this, and 1 minute goes very fast. So like rehearse what you're going to say and what you're going to do, but you're going to pitch this to the rest of your class. You're going to pick one of your things. So if you find a real world example of a service, you're going to pitch that real world example to the class next week in a fun presentation. It's just going to be fun. So you guys, that's the project. It's due on Saturday, and it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Well, let's see. So we've covered week 2. What's due? You have a reading, you have a journal entry, and you got this project. Again, I think the best way to do it is in the layout that I had right here. Do the reading and the journal entry to like Tuesday, Wednesday, and then start killing that project on Thursday, Friday, and then that's all due on Saturday. Hey guys, remember that I got office hours on Thursday, and so reach out to me with questions, and let's get it going. But reach out to me before then by email if you have questions, and we can get it going that way too. Hey, really looking forward to all the work that you guys are going to do and the learning that you're going to do this week. So much fun. Remember, we're trying to start businesses here, and we're just getting started. So it's really exciting.